Let's talk about the art of listening in high ticket sales. One thing that comes up a lot for women in the prosperous womb when we're working together and God made women millionaires is I listen, but I'm listening to my client in a sales conversation. And at the same time, I'm trying to figure out the next question to ask because we've gone off script because they usually come into the prosperous womb with some generic script they got from a guru on Instagram or Facebook or whatever social media they're on. And they say to me, and I'm thinking because the next question is not a question on the script, and I'm listening so that I can answer what they're saying or respond to them. And when it comes to the art of listening, it starts when you create the offer because you've listened to the person that you want to work with, right? Hello, beautiful, and welcome to Moms in Sales. Listening begins when we midwife our gifts and we're listening to God's wisdom as He directs and guides us to not trust our own knowledge, but to lean on His wisdom, not our understanding, so that He can guide and direct our path for the person that He's put here on earth for us to serve, for the work that He's doing through us. So how do we listen throughout the process and in the sales conversation? If you're thinking about what you want to say next to your client, you're not listening. If you're going by a sales script, you're not listening. If you are waiting to think of something brilliant to respond with, you ignore the subtle signs in the sales conversation. Because you see, whether it's in a DM or in an email that your potential client sent to you or in an application form that she filled out or a sales conversation, there are certain quiet pauses, hesitations, words that are used, phrases that reflect the client's ability to trust herself, that reflect her ability to decide whether she's confident enough to trust herself to say yes to this offer, that reflects what she's thinking and reflects her window to how she sees the problem. You miss all of that if you're not fully in tune to what is happening right in front of you, the body language, what she's saying with her body. What is she saying when she leans back, when she hesitates before she answers, when she has a nervous laugh before she gives you an answer to a question, or when she gives you the answer to a question, but it's a question. There's a question mark behind the phrase. So that's when you start to think to yourself, am I listening? Or am I being in my head? The key to the art of listening is to take yourself out of the equation. So when you're beginning midwifing your gifts and doing all of the things, you take yourself out of the equation by focusing exclusively on what your client sees and her window to her soul and the window through which she sees the world. Understand what she cares about. Understand what she values the most. Understand what's important to her. Understand how she measures the outputs and results that she wants to get from working with you in this offer, and understand why that is important to her, so that your messaging gets to reflect that. And any communication you have with her supports you to see the subtleties that show who she's being right now as she steps into this journey with you. And in the sales conversation, look for the body cues, the pause, the hesitation, the way her eyes blinked really fast, the way she looked down, how she folded her arms, the laugh, the gestures. That's how you listen. Throw the script out before you get on the sales call. Actually burn it. Go somewhere and burn that script today. You never need one. You just need to tune into your heart, because then you get to see, was she questioning her self-trust? Was she questioning the offer or you? Was she reflecting your indecision about yourself? Was she reflecting the trust that you don't have in yourself to sell this offer? What is she reflecting right now? Can you see? Can you tell? Ask the question based on what she's telling you. And as the leader, direct the conversation back if it's off topic, but listen with your heart. And go easy on yourself, because guess what? It is very rare that any one of us sits down with our family, spouse, children, friends, colleagues, whatever, to have a 60-minute or 45-minute conversation where we're fully focused on them and we're asking them clarifying questions and we're going deeper with them and our eyes are on them and we're looking at their body cues and we're eye to eye and just noticing everything. We don't have those kinds of conversations. We do text messaging, and then when we talk to our loved ones in a restaurant, we have our phone and we're scrolling. So the only time that we get to have this kind of listening with our hearts, actively listening, is when we talk to strangers on a sales call. And we expect to show up on the sales call just really in tune and knowing everything just feeling everything and just seeing everything. No, we got to practice. Charity starts at home. So practice being quiet with God and listening to what God is saying to you. If you can listen to the Holy Spirit talking to you, you can listen to your client. And then practice with your spouse, your kids, your friends. Actively listen. Make a committed effort, a conscious decision to put the phone off, to ask them clarifying questions, go deeper with them. They say they don't want to eat the broccoli. Ask the next question. Talk to them. Draw out how their window to the world sees broccoli. And how can you support them? Not just to eat the broccoli, but to allow them to enjoy eating the broccoli, like whatever it is. That way, when you get into a sales conversation with your client, you're so used to active listening that you don't have to sit there and go, and put a note on your computer saying, now I have to actively listen. No, it's who you are. Because high ticket sales is not a thing that we do. It's who we're being in the world. High ticket sales is an extension of who you are in the world. So if you show up in a conversation and you're not listening, if you show up in a conversation and you need a script, it means in the world you need a script too. No, just be who God says you are. Practice being present with people, but it starts with God. Practice being present first with God. Let me know how this lands for you, and if you want more on active listening, I can do more videos on this for you.